Well, Stuart has asked me to talk a little bit about the beginning of the organization of Passstone. And there are a number of people that need to be remembered as pioneers and strong leaders. And we were very fortunate because it takes strong leadership if an organization is going to be successful. And this organization, the names prior to Passstone even, had some very strong leadership. It started with a professor from Geneseo, Dr. Gloria Matera, who had been working as an individual, and she had a group from Geneseo that was interested in working with the migrants. We're apple growers, and the only way that we can get apples harvested, even today, is with manual labor. There is no machine up to this point that is capable of harvesting apples. The people involved after Gloria, we were very fortunate there too. As a board member, I felt very fortunate in the kind of leadership that was interested in our organization. Karen Tobin was a person that I met through some friends of my wife, and I could tell right away that her interest was almost equal to Gloria's in terms of the strength of leadership that she could provide. The interest was certainly there, and the strength of leadership was there, and that's what it takes. So after meeting Gloria to start the organization, I was invited to join their board, which I did because I felt at that point, and I continue to feel, that there needs to be a relationship between labor and management. And the industry is better served if there's a working relationship between labor and the management industry of the apple growers, at least. And I think we can talk about the apple industry as requiring these kind of relationships, because in some of the other products, they have developed machinery that will harvest the crops and do it effectively. But up to this point, there is no apple harvester other than manual labor picking that apple, and they're working on it, and they say they are getting closer. But to this point, we have depended on mostly migrant labor coming into the area to serve the industry. Now, the time frame for all this, I don't really remember some of the dates. I know it was in the late 60s that I met Karen, and I recognized immediately that she and Gloria had some of the same drive and expertise in leadership that was going to be required for an organization that was going to be hopefully successful in organizing a group of people that was interested in the migrant cause. That was going to be very important. So after Gloria, there were other people involved, but Karen certainly stood out in terms of the qualities that I've mentioned, in terms of leadership. Very strong person, dedicated to what she felt needed to be done in order for not only the organization to survive, but possibly for the industry to survive. That's how important it was. And she was with the organization for quite a period of time. I don't remember how long. And then, of course, Stuart became involved, and I think it speaks for itself. The leadership qualities remained very, very high, and the organization has just, it's unbelievable, the number of areas that the organization has become involved with, and to think we started just, in a kind of a county, Wayne County, Western New York area, and now it goes to several states, and the organization leadership and board members are to be congratulated that it's not only survived, but it's just amazing. To me, it's pretty amazing the way it's grown, and the support that I believe the growers have provided also needs to be mentioned. I don't know, Stuart, what else you want me to?
How would you like to remember Karen? What do you remember about her, and how should she be remembered? How should she be remembered?
Yeah, I think Karen will be remembered by those of us who are fortunate enough to work with her for the quality of leadership that she provided. That's hard to find. I mean, that kind of leadership where you've got groups that don't necessarily always agree with each other, to bring them together for a cause. And she was able to do that very effectively. She, just as a side note, I might mention that Bev and I were flying somewhere one day. I don't remember where we were going, but we saw Karen getting on the same plane. And we sat down, and Karen was in the back of the plane, and back in the days, you could smoke if you were in the back of the plane. So the pilot came on the intercom and said, would someone be willing to change their seat? We have a passenger in the back of the plane who needs to be out of the smoking area. And I said to Bev, that's Karen. I know that's Karen. Sure enough, it was Karen. But that's the kind of strength that she had and provided for the organization. She wasn't afraid to stand up and ask for what she knew was right and what she needed. In terms of remembering Karen, there was no backing down. She didn't know what that meant. She would stand for a cause, and it would be understandable. Karen was a very bright person, but she was able to communicate to those of us that might not be that bright what she was talking about in terms of the not only the possibilities, but the reason for doing something simply because it was the right thing to do. That's a leader, and that's how I remember Karen. And I feel blessed to have been able to work with her, and she and I became very good friends, and I miss her very much. I think she provided for the industry, the Apple industry, a needed piece in the whole puzzle of not only labor, but she went way beyond labor as far as I'm concerned. She understood when the industry had a problem with a particular issue, she would understand why the industry had that problem and would work to resolve the difference. So that's how I'll remember her.
This is fabulous, Jerry. Thank you.